Alright, welcome to the channel and to the Speedy Space Marine series. Today we're going to be looking at the War Master's own legion, the Sons of Horus, responsible for instigating the fall of mankind and the Imperium during the Horus Heresy. All of the paints you'll need will be listed below in the description, so let's get into it. Alright, starting from a black primer, we're going to grab some Incubi darkness and we're going to overbrush this onto the model just to ensure we get a nice even base coat across all of the armor panels. I'm using quite a large brush here. I've got a medium dry brush from Artis Opus here. We're just slapping that colour down, ensuring that we get it all over the raised sections and we leave some of those shaded sections and separation points between the armor black. So it may take 2 coats of Incubi darkness to ensure you have a nice saturated and opaque base, but then we're going to come in with some Lupercal green and we're going to mix that with our Incubi darkness to start building up our highlights. We're not worried about highlighting the shoulders because we're going to make those black, but we're going to target all the areas that the hobby light's hitting. So we're thinking our light's coming straight down, so we're going to look to hit the top of the backpack, top of the arms, outside of the legs, top of the head, all of the areas that you can currently see illuminated by the hobby light. Then coming in with some pure Lupercal green, we're going to look to accentuate those highlights. Again, we're holding the brush quite far back from the ferrule, so we're applying these highlights in a very soft fashion to ensure we get smooth transitions through our colours. And I'm going back to the dampener anytime that I start to feel any resistance or chalky texture coming through on the model. We're going to mix in some Sons of Horus green to our Lupercal green and we're going to add in our last highlight. I'm holding the brush even further back here to ensure I get nice soft transitions through my colours. I'm being a wee bit more intentional with the direction of my stroke here to ensure I'm picking out the edges and the details within the model. I'm also looking to accentuate those volumetric highlights that we've been building throughout this process. So now coming in with some straight Lupercal green and our extra small dry brush, we're going to stipple in some chips and weathering to the armour. This will also act as our edge highlight in areas, so try to focus around the edge of the armour plates to create that separation and definition within the components. So think about where the damage would naturally occur. It's generally going to be on the edge, the bottom of the greaves, edges of the armour plates like the elbows, maybe around the backpack, hands, maybe a wee bit of chipping around the face. But use these all to create more detail and more definition within your model. Grab some exhaust manifold and then apply this all over the areas that you want to be silver. This paint generally covers quite well, so it should only take 1, at the most 2 passes to ensure you have a nice opaque base for the silvers. Take your time whenever you're doing this and try not to hit any of the green armour that we've just established. So be sure to grab all those important areas like the buckle across the chest, the heatsink on top of the backpack, the exhausts, and any other areas that need to be silver. Then taking some Abaddon black, we're going to cover both of the shoulder pads. Ensure you cover up all those greens and get a nice opaque coat. It may take 2 passes, but just take your time. Try not to hit any of those green sections that we established earlier. We're also going to paint in any rubberized sections on the model or any tubing as well. Again, just take your time whenever you're doing this. I'm using a size 2 series M here, but if you need to use a smaller brush to hit all of these details, by all means. And lastly, I thought I would change the backpack a wee bit and just add in another black plate here. So I'm just covering off that top plate just to create a wee bit more focus around the head. And then cover all of the bolter casing, leaving those silver elements visible. If you need to go back and touch up any of the silvers, just grab some more of that exhaust manifold and tidy those up. So then we're going to grab some Retributor armour here and we're going to use this to coat any of the emblems on the armour, so anything that's like an Aquila or a skull. And then we're just going to grab those rivets on the shoulder. Do your best not to hit any of the black, but if you do, just come back in, touch it up with a bit of Abaddon black and you'll be grand. So now I've thinned down my Abaddon black into a wash consistency. You can use Nuln Oil or your favourite black ink for this, but I just prefer to use Abaddon black to ensure I get the same finish over these areas. So I just apply a coat of that all over the bolt gun, get that separation and definition within the metallics, help to dull them down, and do the same with any of the other metallic sections just to help create that separation within the components. Then grab yourself some Mournfang brown, again thin that down into a wash consistency. I'm only using water here to thin down my paints as well, no fancy mediums or anything like that. And apply that into the rubberized sections just to create some separation and definition in those areas. This also acts as rust, debris, dust that's built up over the course of the battle. Apply it over your silver sections as well to look like oil, grease, rust, anything that might accrue during the battle. Do the same with the bolter as well, just add in a wee bit of extra detail. We're also going to apply this over the gold sections, just add in a wee bit of additional warmth to those components. Try to avoid it pooling around the base, you don't want it to stain the black armour. We're going to apply some over the feet just to help incorporate the model into the base because we're applying it onto a desert style base, and this just helps to sort of give that pigmented dusty look to the bottom of the model. Lastly, we got to paint in the lenses, so we're starting with some Khorne red because it's a nice complement to these green tones within the armour. And we're just applying a nice even foundation over both the lenses and that sensor thing on top of the head. Grabbing some Evil Sunz Scarlet, we're just going to highlight up the inner corner and lower edge of each lens, and also that wee sensor thing on top. Then grabbing some golden yellow, I know this is an older colour but there'll be an equivalent in the description. We're just going to highlight up the inner corner of each lens. Again, ensure you get some nice intensity and opacity to that colour. Grab some titanium white and thin this down. You can use your favourite white paints. Ensure you can do some nice small dots on your nail and then brace and do the same thing to the rear corner of each lens. This just acts as a wee highlight point or a wee glint from the light. Once these all put together, you end up with something that looks a bit like this. I might be biased, but I think this is a really cool representation of the Sons of Horus. Let's pop him on a base and have a better look. Here he is on his desert base. You can see how that wash of the Mournfang brown helps to incorporate him in there. And if you want to see how I made this base, there'll be a link up in the top corner. And let's get him on the spinning thing and have a proper look. So I went with a slightly darker version of the Sons of Horus. I think using Incubi darkness and Lupercal green creates these nice cold tones within the armour, while using Sons of Horus green for the highlights almost give these slightly warmer tones, and they complement really nicely with those gold accents, those red eyes, and those deep recessed shades of Mournfang brown. I can't wait to see your Sons of Horus on the tabletop, and if you've enjoyed the process, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hopefully you found that useful. If you have any comments, questions or suggestions for future videos, please drop them below in the comments. And if you want to take your painting to the next level, I have a Patreon that's focused around feedback and coaching. You also get access to exclusive guides and content. If you want to show me what you've been working on or what you've been using these videos for, please head over to the Discord and drop some pics into the whips or the completed projects. I would love to see what you've been doing. Just want to say thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you at the next one. All links can be found below in the description.